Hello, everybody. Josh Neighbors here, Locked On Nationals podcast. It is the 27th of June, 2022. Today's show is brought to you by BetOnline and BetOnline.net, the best place to get on all the sports action, including Major League Baseball. Thank you guys for making Locked On Nationals your first listen every single day. And on today's show, a really positive weekend of Nationals baseball to talk about. The Nationals take 2 of 3 from the Texas in Arlington, but it could have been more. That's not the point, though. There's so much positives to look at this weekend from the Nats. We'll do that today and look ahead to their series coming up with the Pittsburgh Pirates.
You are Locked On Nationals, your daily Washington Nationals podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, everybody. Josh Neighbors here, Locked On Nationals podcast. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at @JoshNeighbors_. You guys can follow the show at @LO_Nationals. You guys can find us wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube as well. Thank you all for making us, once again, your first listen every single day. So the Nationals had a nice weekend. They won 2 of 3 from the Texas Rangers. It could have been 3 of 3. We'll get into that, and I've got some thoughts on that generally. The Nationals are 27-48. They have a .360 winning percentage, which is still second worst in baseball, but still it's an improvement from what they were. They are 20.5 games out of first place behind the New York Mets. They're 15.5 behind the Braves. They are 12.5 behind the Phillies, and they're 8 back of the Miami Marlins. They're 12-26 at home. They improved to 15-22 on the road. They have a -111 run differential, which is the worst in all of baseball still. They've won 1. That's their current streak, and they are currently 4-6 in their last 10 games. Look, winning baseball games is great. I know the Nationals aren't doing a ton of that this year, but the fact this weekend that things went well for them and they threatened to win 3 baseball games, if it weren't for a weird call, they would have had a pretty good shot at winning 3 baseball games. It's encouraging because not just the wins, not just the chance to have a sweep, but the fact that the guys performing well in different ways that bring value to this team. And let's just go pillar to post. Let's go through this whole weekend. A lot of close baseball games. The Nationals won 2 of 3 of those. And look, this was something we talked with Bryce Patrick, the host of Locked On Rangers, before this weekend series. He and I discussing the fact that the run coming up here for the Rangers was a pretty favorable one. They get 3 with the Nationals and they're 3 with the Royals. And he talked about, them winning 5 or 6 games from the stretch. Well, they almost lost all 3. They went 1-2 in the beginning. And it's a team in the Rangers that's kind of around playoff contention right now. The Nationals did a good job of kind of stymieing that momentum or any potential momentum that they could have gotten going. The first game of this series was a 2-1 victory for the Washington Nationals. And you got to talk about in this game, Paolo Espino really is your star of the game because the Nationals have been searching for, some pitching. Paolo started off this year in the Nationals bullpen, much like he did last season. And Paolo migrated his way into the starting rotation, much like he did last season. Paolo does, guys, you watch this guy pitch. I've been in the bigs for very long, but he's 35. What does that tell you? This guy has been pitching, has been pitching professional baseball for a while now. Not always the big leagues, but he has been. And this season is just a culmination of that, and he's been so good. 23 games pitched this year. He's made 3 starts. He has got a 2.21 ERA, a 1.11 whip, 40 2/3 innings worked, 30 Ks, not a high K guy, but just 9 walks in those 40 innings. And also, he's been getting guys out. And This is a guy that is crafty. He can give you 20 pitches. He can give you 89 back-to-back games for him where he went at least 89 pitches. And, he's had outings this year where he's gone as low as 7 pitches. But now he's back to that starting spot. Last 2 times for Espino, 5 innings against the Phillies, 3 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned, 1 home run, 4 walks, and 5 Ks, which are the walk numbers for him. In the 5 previous outings that he had before that, no walks, or 4 previous outings before that, he didn't have any walks. So that was kind of an anomaly. This game, 6 hits, 1 run it was earned. It was a home run, a walk, and 3 Ks. 8 ground balls, 11 fly balls, so a good mix right there, and kept the Nats in this baseball game and got it to the bullpen after 5 1/3. And this was, this is a guy that's just out there grinding. Once again, like, the stuff does not jump off the page to you when you watch Paolo Espino pitch, but he is crafty. He knows what he's doing out there. He is a veteran of the game. He's been around the big leagues since 2017. And there's something you can really appreciate about watching that craftiness, that he has got this season. And you look at, once again, the pitch arsenal for him on the year. He's throwing the 4-seamer, he's throwing the curveball, slider, and changeup. So pretty standard mix. But what you're seeing is the fastball, team's rating 254, it's not awful. The curveball's been really effective for him this year. Against the curveball, 163 are what teams are hitting against it. Slider is 273, and the team's really gotten to his changeup, but he's not using it as much as he was before. So it's getting hit pretty hard. But yeah, just crafty, solid start for him. Not always gonna go well for him if you leave him out there as a starter, just because the stuff is not, it's not this incredible mixture of stuff. That fastball is just below 90 miles an hour, right? It's not this incredibly impressive fastball, but the curveball does have good movement on it, and those 2 pitches really have been the most effective for him when you're watching him. Also, so just credit to him. This is a guy he is the ultimate put me in, coach. I'm ready to play today. Right? This guy is 6th inning, 7th inning, excuse me, 4th inning. You need me to go in the 1st inning, start the game off for you. Hi. Excuse me, there, take a sip of the water. But yeah, how do you not love watching a guy like that grind and make his way as a big league pitcher? At the age of 35, it's fun to watch. Carl Edwards Jr. gets the win in this game. The bullpen the rest of the way. Shout out to those guys. Edwards, an inning and 2/3, picks up his first win of the year. Clean for him. Kyle Finnegan gets a couple Ks. He struggled the next night. Tanner Rainey gets the save. And this one, and the Nationals actually faced off against their former pick, Dane Dunning, who had a really nice start. 6 innings, 7 hits, 1 run. It was earned a 1 walk and 4 Ks. But the guy who gets the job done for the Nationals, and boy, did he have a really nice weekend, Josh Bell is the one who broke the tie in the top of the 8th. A Garcia ground rule double in the 6th, got in the first run, and then Josh Bell in the 8th inning singles to bring home Juan Soto. Josh Bell was 3 for 4 in the opening game. We'll talk more about him in a second, but that 2-1 win. And guys in this lineup, 1 through 7, all recorded hits. Josh Bell having 3 in this game. All right, quick word from our sponsors. We'll hit game number 2 in this Nationals and Rangers series. But first, quick word from our sponsors. Today's show is brought to you all by Athletic Greens. Guys, Athletic Greens is something that I have done every single day. I already had it this morning. I've got my cold cup of water here, but I already had my 1 scoop of Athletic Greens in my cold cup of water. It is lifestyle friendly, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, dairy-free, gluten-free. It contains less than 1 gram of sugar, no GMOs, no nasty chemicals or artificial anything, while still tasting good. Supports better sleep quality and recovery, supports mental clarity and alertness. It's the one thing with the best things, Athletic Greens. And to make it easy, Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of immune supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you do is visit athleticgreens.com/MLB. Again, that's athleticgreens.com MLB Network to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate nutritional insurance. Losing the voice a little bit today. Too much celebrating a National Series win. This show is also brought to you by Blue Nile. Guys, if you need something for that special someone, go to Blue Nile today. Make your moment sparkle with jewelry. Nile.com. Locked On Sports listeners get $50 off a purchase of $500 or more podcast exclusive engagement. You guys use the promo code Locked On. That's LOCKEDON, Locked On. That's code Locked On. Plus, every order is insured. It ships free, and it arrives in a discreet package that won't give away what's inside. Shop stress-free and find your forever peace at BlueNile.com today. All right, so the second game of this series, the Nationals do lose. Adolis Garcia hits the walk-off home run, but a couple of things here. Let's not dwell on the fact that that this happened. Yes, late in the game, Nelson Cruz hits a ball down the line. It should have been a fair ball. It was a foul ball. Really, the fault here lies, in my opinion, with Dave Martinez, because this was a play that maybe some people did not think it was reviewable. The Nationals, it turns out, did not think it was reviewable. They didn't ask for that, apparently, because they didn't think it was. At least that was my understanding of what occurred there. And so you got to know the rules better than that at that point. My big happened there with Nelson Cruz at the end of the game. But got to give Adolis Garcia credit. Takes Kyle Finnegan deep for a walk-off home run. And so, that was obviously, really impressive to see. But the big thing for the Nationals in this game was the effort that they got from Josiah Gray. Josiah Gray in the month of June has been spectacular. He's got one of the best ERAs among active pitchers. I know our guy, Matt Wyrick, by the way, folks. He comes on the show every single week. There's a reason why we have him on. Matt is fantastic. He does a great job diving into numbers, and he's got a few of them here. He had something. I'm trying to find what he had about Josiah Gray here. And see if we can get that for you all. But really, the thing is, he's been one of the best pitchers in the month of June so far across leagues. And first start he has made where he went 7 full innings. 7 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, both earned. So obviously there's that, but that's really not that bad. 1 walk, 9 Ks. He was in there in that 6th inning. And just battling. And those were tough, difficult at-bats that it took him to get out of that inning. But he was up for the challenge. And now, in this month of June, 24 innings pitched, 13 hits, 4 runs, 3 of them earned, just 2 homers, 8 walks, and 28 strikeouts. You go back to the start before. 5 in his last 29 innings, he has surrendered a total of 4 earned runs and has struck out 31 batters as well. He has just been fantastic development. I mean, he has gone at least 5 innings every single start this month. And look at these games, guys. 8-5. So the Rockies game, 6-5 win, 8-5 win, 2-1 loss, 2-1 loss, 3-2 loss. What that tells me is, number one, he's not getting run support. That's obvious, and that's upsetting and sad. And sure, we can be upset at the group, but whatever. But once again, we're not here to complain. I'm not complaining at all. I've been telling you guys all year, it's all about perspective, right? Like the Nationals won the series. That's great. That's a little bit of winning. That's good. They could have swept the series. That's great because the Nationals were in position to win. Call doesn't go your way. Sure, whatever. This team is not about winning ball games. They're way too far, out of that at this point. But the fact that Josiah Gray, when he pitches, the Nationals are in ball games. I mean, you even go back to to that month of May that he had, which wasn't that good, but in games that he pitched, the Nationals were 4-2. In this month, they're 1-3, but there's 3 1-run losses in there that happened when he was not in the game. 2 of those were in extra innings. This guy right now, at the age of 24, is giving the Nationals an opportunity to win every single time he's out there. That's not something you can say about Patrick Corbin. That's not something that you can say even about, I know Steven Strasburg's hurt, but like it's unfair to say that, but like, or him or Joe Ross, because I'm not out there right now. They're not in the field. Like this guy, they got, and he is currently delivering on that. No, he is not Max Scherzer. And I'm not sure he will be one day. It's fine. But, we talked about the assessment of him as a number 3 guy in the rotation potentially moving forward. That'd be great. The Nationals will take that. But Josiah Gray clearly is built, and I mean from a mental standpoint, he is built like a top of the rotation guy. Will the stuff follow? Will he able to mix his mental confidence with the stuff? I think he's got a chance. I think he actually does have a chance. But this kid is showing that he can pitch like a grown ass up there. He has been fantastic to watch. We have really enjoyed, and excuse me cursing, but that's strong. That's kind of the term that we use around here. And it's been fantastic to see. I think you all would agree with that assessment. This kid, it looks like he's not much of a kid anymore. Pitches the spirit of a kid, but he's got the stuff of a seasoned pro. And if he can mix that spirit and that confidence and the stuff together, the Nationals might have a really strong member of the rotation for years to come. So really liked what we saw from Josiah Gray in game number 2. Game number 3, it's all about JB. Look at that rhyme right there for you all. Josh Bell powers the Nationals to a 6-4 win in the final game of this series. He had a great day. He was 3 for 5 on the day, drove in a run. Nelson Cruz was 2 for 5 against his former team. Juan Soto, 1 for 1 with 4 walks, which is really impressive to see. But this is another stat that was put up by one Matt Wire. I just want to read it to you guys because it is very, very impressive. Josh Bell's slash line this season, 308, 390, 492, 882 OPS. Freddie Freeman, 305, 389, 491, 880. He has got him beat in average. He's got him beaten on base. He's got him beaten slugging. He's got him beaten OPS. Just barely. It's marginal. It's definitely marginal. No one's trying to say Josh Bell's a better player than Freddie Freeman, but Josh Bell has been the Nationals' best player this season. There is no doubt about that. Sure, there are some peaks and valleys. There are for every hitter a lot of the time. There are a couple of exceptions. But Josh Bell, in a spot of the order where you think they asked for power, and it feels like a guy may not be the most consistent in the world. Think about the worst month he had was the month of May, where he hit 252 with a 317 on base. He hit 365 in April. He's hitting 329 the month of June as we wrap up here. Like the valley for him was pretty good output. The peak for him has been really good, and mostly it's been peak for him, and he's just been seeing the ball so well. And I'll reiterate this. It's the fact that he is doing it at both sides of the plate. 280 as a lefty or versus lefties, 324 against the righties. He has just been torching baseballs on either side of the dish. He is such a productive player. I think I saw some stuff on people were saying, look, they should keep him. I know they're not in the spending move. They should keep him. And you all know me. I was advocate for keeping Josh Bell this week or this past season. I was an advocate for locking him up. Will I claim to say I saw this coming? No, I can't do that, folks. I cannot sit to you and tell you good people in good faith that I saw this coming from one Josh Bell this season, but it's been impressive to watch. And speaking of impressive, Jackson Tetreault in this start. I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing this correct. I've been Tetreault, whatever it is. He got his second win of his big league career with another strong start. This is back-to-back for him. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 run. It was earned, 2 walks, and 4 Ks on 99 pitches. He got it to the bullpen. Erasmo Ramirez, Steve Cishek, Perez gets rocked in this game, but Tanner 80 comes in to get the save and does so, number 10 on the season for him. And the Nationals win 6-4. I'm going to talk later on this week with, we're going to see if we get Lindsey Crosby from Locked On Prospects. Let's talk about teams putting together Josh Bell trade packages. Let's see what he thinks. It's a great guy to talk to. And we'll talk about what he thinks a guy like Josh Bell can fetch. Because look, he might not make the All-Star team. I mean, I think he's definitely an All-Star. I think what we're seeing this year out of him on this team, I think context matters. Yeah, he's not helping this team win, but he's had a fantastic season. I think somebody who's definitely all-star level worthy. There's a lot of good first basemen out there, but definitely could be a bench guy, could be a reserve for the season that he's having. And I think, once again, whether his value is an all-star, it doesn't really matter what it is. But like what his value is to a team far surpasses that because of his ability to hit both righties and lefties at an extremely impressive clip. All right, one more word from our sponsors, and we'll take a look at the Nationals' upcoming series with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Today's show is brought to you by BetOnline and BetOnline.net. If you guys want to bet on this Nationals and Pirates series, the place to do it is BetOnline. It's your number one source for all your betting needs, your sports info as well. Find latest sports developments, league reviews, news, including this year's NHL playoffs, which just wrapped up. Major League Baseball now obviously in full swing. It's your number one source, folks. You guys know this. But MMA, boxing, NASCAR, had a great race last night. Chase Elliott took home the checkered flag in Nashville, the LI 400. Big UFC pay-per-view coming up this week. Adesanya against Cannonier. Volkanovski against Holloway. Go bet on that today at BetOnline and BetOnline.net. Head to the website. Use your mobile device to learn more about the trends and the action. BetOnline, where the game starts. All right, so the Nationals now move on. They head back home for a series with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Once again, 27-48 are the Washington Nationals. They now have a 7-game homestand. Starts with these 3 games against the Pirates and 4 with the Marlins. Your pitching matchups. It's going to be the 4 guys that we're kind of most accustomed to seeing right now, I guess you could say. Fedde, Corbin, Espino, or your 3. I'm sorry, I was counting Gray in the next one. Fedde, Corbin, Espino, 705, 705, 105. Don't know who's pitching tonight for the Pirates. Quintana is going to pitch on Tuesday night, and then Keller is going to pitch on Wednesday afternoon. The Nationals will take a day off, and then they'll have a Friday game, 2 Saturday games, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, because Monday is July 4th. That's the schedule for the Marlins coming up. So 3 with the Pirates coming up right here. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at @LO_Nationals. You guys can follow me at @JoshNeighbors_. Find the show over at your podcast and on YouTube as well. Until next time, my friends, as always, stay safe.